with an improved Midnight Exchange episode 9.
Oh yeah,
We're back. Okay. So, we're past the holiday season. My name is Mario. I'm here
and I
with...
am Zachary. Zachary right here.
We're your hosts on this wonderful evening of the Midnight Exchange as we are recording late today. We are 9 minutes from the official time exchange from 11 to 12. And we are in a brand new year, 2020. Zach, how you feeling?
For the most part, good. To be completely honest, yesterday, I don't know what it was. I just felt like completely terrible. Completely terrible. You know, headache, nausea. It was great.
Well,
But
it's
today,
not January 1st, so you shouldn't be hungover.
no, I'm not hungover at all. I don't know. I just felt not so great. But other than that, I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. It's been about, a month? Been about a month?
Since we'd recorded?
Yeah, since we've recorded.
Yeah, I think so. I think the last one was actually it may have been a little more than that. I think the last one we did was right before Thanksgiving. So you got Thanksgiving in December, and then now we're in January. The holidays, man.
Let me say to our audience, it wasn't out of laziness. We've actually been prepping to launch and doing things on the back end. And the holidays are busy, but nonetheless, we're here. We have about, this will be 9 episodes in the bag, and we will be launching. Well, you won't know, but we're going to be launching next week.
Yes. I'm making that a goal. I'm gonna hold you to that one. You still gotta touch up a few of those episodes.
Yeah. I did 2 of them today. They're, some of them are easier to listen. Some of them, drag on a little bit.
No, I know. Some of them are just like, I had to cut like 20 minutes out of one of them. We get off on some tangents and I'm like, we could do without that. But anyways, I'm kind of glad that we waited a little bit, honestly. Got that little break from recording. Had time to edit all of them because we had a stockpile of episodes already and I needed to get some stuff done on the back end. But OBS released an update on December 17th. That actually allowed it to work on macOS Catalina now. So we're back to recording with OBS instead of some hodgepodge selections of software.
We were both using the same software, Zach.
We were?
Yeah, I was using GarageBand as well.
Oh, I was using GarageBand too. All right.
Zach's been throwing low key shade at me. He thought I was recording with my iPhone for the last episode.
I did. I was just like, dude, it sounds terrible, but all right, whatever.
Anyways, all right. So we are past the holidays, and I want to recap. Ask you, how'd you spend the holidays? What'd you do? What's the newest new? And how'd you spend the New Year's? What's the newest in the life of Zachary Newton?
Okay, so I guess I'll start back at Thanksgiving time. That was great. I mean, I went up to St. Augustine with my girlfriend and her family for a week. So we just kind of hung around there, went into downtown, went out to the beach, walked around. It was in good weather. I think it was down in like the 50s for a few days. Actually, it was probably colder than that, like high 40s.
St. Augustine, right?
What'd you say?
St. Augustine, right?
Yeah, St. Augustine. For those of you who don't know, it's like a historic town down here in northern Florida. Right next to the beach. So we actually rented a beach house and it was really nice. So that was Thanksgiving. Came back.
When you go out there, what side of the island do you stay on? Because there's like an abandoned side that's kind of creepy, and then there's the other side that's by the amphitheater, and there's like
I know the amphitheater is somewhere. I just don't know where. I've never been to it that I can remember, but we don't stay in any sketchy areas. We're out just outside of St. Augustine, but we're all the way actually like on the beach. So we rent a beach house on the beach. It's far enough north on, I forget what the strip is called, honestly, but it's far enough north that you are away from any crazy people and shacks down south, but you're still very close to St. Augustine.
You're gonna have to send me the link for that because the other side of the island has mainly condominiums where you can just stay on from a distance. But
No, I'm not. The houses that we're at. I mean, we looked into the prices of them just out of curiosity. Like $4 million houses right there. It's crazy, or more
So
actually.
yeah, funny story. 2 years ago, I went to St. Augustine, and I was with my cousin Alex, and I guess he traveled out of the country somewhere, but his Airbnb said that he went to Iran, uh, and so the guy came downstairs and he's like, "Hey man, looked at your profile. You been to Iran recently?" He's like, "No, I've been to Iran." We didn't end up getting the rental because they thought he was like an extremist. So yeah, there's that.
That's a good one.
Which is a good segue because you know World War III and everything. But
yeah, I know that's a potential thing now.
Yeah, we'll touch on that later on. So Thanksgiving, St. Augustine, how'd you spend the Christmas holidays?
So Christmas, I kind of just stayed local, stayed around town. I didn't want to go anywhere. I just wanted to kind of wind down from work as much as I possibly could without feeling like I was working to go everywhere. My family actually left me and went to Pennsylvania to visit some of my extended family up there. But
and you didn't throw a party?
Bro, my party was sleeping like every minute I could. I think I had knocked out for like about 14 hours over that first week, and it was the most peaceful sleep I've had.
That's not much, bro. 14 hours a day or 14 hours in the entire week?
No, 14 hours a day.
Jesus, Zach. It's not much of a vacation at all.
Vacation? No, that was the first week. I needed to catch up on work. I was working like crazy that week. I think that week was like at least like about, I want to say it was about 16-hour days. It was about a double shift each day. When I add everything up, both personally and for the company I'm working for. Okay. But other than that, got to Christmas. Christmas was great. I got a new coffee maker. Oh, it's from the brand Smeg. Smeg, Smeg, Smeg. It's like a super retro. It's dude, I love that brand. They're so retro. It looks like something from the 50s. Smeg.
You're modern, but you're going backwards.
I'm very modern in some regards, but I like retro stuff.
Is it the espresso machine?
Not the espresso machine. I didn't know they made an espresso machine. It's just the coffee machine. We already have a espresso machine, but let me see.
The old coffee machines.
And we'll put
the silver one, like the.
No, I got the straight up white one.
What is it called?
It's
the Linea, the classic. No. Is this Smeg? SMEG?
Yeah, SMEG.
Smeg.
Drip filter coffee. Smeg USA.
Drip filter coffee. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I see. An expensive coffee machine.
It is. It is really nice. Really, really nice. I like it. Actually, that's probably the first drip machine that I have had that I legitimately enjoy.
I like it, man. It looks really nice.
It does.
Kind of like that off-white one.
The off-white one's really nice too. I don't know. The only thing is, it's easier to get other products to match the solid white one.
You really can't get it in cream. I mean,
I know. If it was the only thing you put in your kitchen, you could. But
how do you feel about the black one here?
The black one does look dope too.
You know, things like this that we're doing. Sorry, I just tapped my mic, but it was accidental. Things like this where we're showing pictures in the background. This is the reason why eventually soon I'd like to do a video podcast where we can video switch and show some images while we're doing this.
I would love to do that. Get a couple audio sources into one OBS, control it, a couple cameras set up. That would be nice.
Yeah, I was thinking something more simple, but yeah, that works too.
Or that. We could just put a TV in the background and cast to it.
Yeah, there you go.
One camera.
No, not that simple. Hey, I like the black one too. All right, well,
the black one's really nice.
I'm coming over with coffee.
I'll have to make you one. We'll put a link to that in the show notes. But aside from that, I got what is this? A Logitech MX Master or Mix Master, however you want to pronounce it. 3 mouse.
Okay.
And yeah, dude, the ergonomics on this thing are insane. I think this is my absolute favorite mouse that I have ever touched.
Let me see that thing.
So here, I don't know if you can kind of see it in here. It's a little dark.
I see it.
But you see that. You got a thumb scroll wheel here on the side.
Nice.
You can control, it's got buttons everywhere. You can control the functionality of them. You can control the functionality between applications. You can connect up to 3 devices at once. And I got it for Christmas. And I was like, wow, I like this way more than I thought I would. So I was still debating on what keyboard to buy. And I kind of wanted a nice mechanical keyboard with, decent travel. But I was thinking about it and I'm like, why don't I just get the Logic MX Master keyboard? So I got that as well. I ordered that a couple days after it came in. I don't know. I think it came in like a couple days before New Year's. Got that set up and I fell in love with that too. Like the weight of this thing, it's weighted really nice. It gives the I'm showing it to you in my camera if you can see it, a little bit of it at least. It gives the Apple keyboard a run for its money, I would say. And I don't mean the built-in keyboard. I mean the actual build quality of the I guess it's the Magic keyboards that you buy. It feels great. It's got nice dishes in the keys. For a low travel keyboard, I like it a lot. And it comes with the same type of functionality. You can change a lot of the function keys. You can connect it up to 3 different devices at once, and it's a super easy process to switch between the different devices.
Nice.
And when you use them in conjunction with each other, you can actually make the mouse even more powerful by, if you hold a key down on the keyboard and then do the same sort of gesture on the mouse, you can program that to do something else, which is great. So, and I love these two. And the other cool thing, if you have it connected to 2 separate computers. So I actually have my Mac set up as computer 2 and my PC set up as computer 1. And if I have them both open, I can actually enable, I think it's called like LG Sync or something like that, or Logitech Sync, sorry, not LG. And I can drag my cursor from one screen to another, click a file, drag it from one computer to another, and basically copy, paste, drag, and drop files via the mouse or the keyboard just by, normal actions that you would make on a computer.
I'll have to see that. I'll have to literally see that.
It's pretty
very
cool.
Much.
Yeah. We'll have to put links to that in the show notes as well.
The keyboard that I've, not that I'm like very into upgrading in those things, but I would. Some of them are just ridiculous. But I love the typewriter, like the vintage looking typewriter keyboard.
I almost bought one of those, man. I was like, that just looks so different from everything I've seen.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I kind of want it just for the nostalgia of,
I'll get one. I'll get one eventually. I'll get one of those things eventually.
If you do, you're gonna have to let me come see it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it'll be my exclusive writing keyboard.
Do it.
Okay, so New Year's, rolling into New Year's.
So rolling into New Year's, didn't do too much. I mean, my whole neighborhood always throws a block party for New Year's, so my girlfriend and I just kind of came around here, hung around, ate some food, talked to some people, chilled out, and then left at like 1 o'clock or something like that afterwards.
That makes sense, Zach. That makes sense. Now that you mention it. All right, audience. Before we started this podcast, Zach told me one of the creepiest stories I've ever heard was potentially somebody there that night at the block party who was a suspect.
Do you want me to give the background first or the assessment? I'll give the assessment first. No, I don't think I saw anybody there that looked suspicious.
All right,
but for those of you, okay, yeah. So for those of you wondering, what happened tonight. My brother's over here, and he has his friend over, so they were hanging out, in the backyard, drinking coffee, chatting, whatever. And all of a sudden, they turn around and look at the fence, and there's a pair of eyes in between the panels of the fence. So someone's like creeping, staring into the fence. So they get up, go over to the fence, and the person runs away. So they leave the backyard and go to the front yard and go around to the side of my house. And then there's another guy over there on the side of the house. So then they started walking.
That's super creepy. I didn't know about the guy
there was two
the
people. I didn't know about that either. I was talking to them while I was waiting for you to get the audio ready, and I found out there was actually two people. So as they went around front, these two guys are like speed walking away. So my brother's friend, I mean, he's big. He's got some mass to him, and so he's. I mean, to use his own words, that's exactly what he said. He's like, I'm a hefty guy, and he's kind of tall too. So this guy just digs off after one of them. He's like, I started running so fast, my shoe flew off, and I don't know. It was some, I think it was some little white boy, and I don't know if they said he looked like a Puerto Rican kid. They both looked like they were around 18 or 19, wearing like a wife beater or a hoodie, and yeah, they just they booked it, and I don't think they're coming back tonight. But then my dad ended up calling the cops, so they're just patrolling the neighborhood, which is funny though, because nothing ever really happens around here, like ever. So yeah, that was tonight. Interesting night.
That's creepy, man. Yeah, that beats my story.
Would you be the Oh, what's your story?
No, you heard it earlier. It was. It's not even a story. It's not even.
That's a weak story. I think it's just getting to you, the story that I told you.
That's what it was. I started reading bad intention to everybody.
Like, oh no.
Yeah. What were you saying mid sentence before?
Oh, what was I saying? Shoot, I don't know. What was I saying? Nothing ever really happens around here.
Until it happens.
Patrolling the neighborhood.
That's how the news story hits. Nothing ever really happens around these parts.
Yeah, I mean, it's true though.
Tom Johnson. Never had anything. He was a nice neighbor. Never did anybody no harm. Waved hi every once in a while. Yeah.
So tell me about your holiday series, a string of events: Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's.
Stuff, dude. November was busy. December was fairly busy as well. A few shoots in there, pretty much rounding out the year, prepping for 2020. And even now, just today was a lot of just picking up where we left off, picking up on different projects and doing things like that. So the holiday season was relaxing. It was surprising in many good ways. And yeah, a lot of time with family. I stayed local pretty much the entire season, except for going to Disney World around early December.
See, now is that crazy around there during the holidays or around the holidays?
I don't mind it because I have an annual pass. And so when you get an annual pass to Disney World, you don't go with that same rush of like needing to get everything done and having to ride every single ride. You can just chill and vibe and just do your thing. And got some good friends up there who were at the parks at the same time. And it was great. I saw the Star Wars land. Oh my God.
Oh man. I've seen that thing on TV, but I haven't looked into it too much. It looks awesome.
I mean, the design, everything is just, man, 10 out of 10. Yeah, and there's even like a little Easter egg. I mean, in the sky, they're doing it through projections. You have different ships like just taking off. It's sick, bro. It is absolutely sick.
That's crazy.
So, it's really cool. Something about Disney World at night, just a tip to the inexperienced. One of my favorite things is just going to Disney at night. All the parks are just different looking. I don't know, something really cool about it.
It's like two separate environments altogether. It's insane.
I loved seeing Star Wars at night, and I loved seeing the Avatar area at night. Oh my, it's so damn cool. I mean,
When
the
did they
floor.
put the Avatar thing in there?
Well, the floor glows in the dark at Animal Kingdom, in the Avatar land. It's just so well done. It's absurd, and I'm assuming they're gonna just continue expanding the Star Wars area. And,
Oh, they have to now.
they'll eventually need a Marvel area. I'm assuming.
Probably.
It's only oh my god. So one of the things I was noticing when I was editing the other podcast was that when I yawn, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
all right. I would start to yawn way more closer to the end of the podcast. But anyways, look, I stayed local, had a great time, went to a friend's party on the 31st and just had a great time throughout that whole week.
Nice.
Yeah, got to spend some time with people who I didn't think spend some time with, and it was a nice New Year's. Anyways, but we're looking forward to 2020 now. New year, new me, new us, new Midnight Exchange. And we're going to look into some of these upcoming movies, perhaps some video games. Yeah, definitely some video games. There's some sick ones coming out this year.
Okay.
We're going to dive into some sports. We're going to dive into some World War III talk. We're going to dive into the Ricky Gervais monologue at the Golden Globes that's going viral. Oh no, it was so good. It was so good. Don't know gosh it yet. You don't even know.
I haven't listened to it yet. I'm just concerned.
All right, so we're gonna get into that, and yeah, were gracious enough to send a 2020 film calendar for the year, and I might be a little more. I think I'm the savant when it comes to this, and then you're gonna dive into some things that you're excited about on the tech side, on the web design side, resources that you're looking into or stuff like that. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do this thing. We got a movie list here for 2020, and I've got pretty much maybe 4 films that I'm really looking forward to. And here we go.
All right.
You got the list open?
I do have the list open. Yeah.
All right. I'm in January. So this week comes out the movie that just won the best film at the Golden Globes, 1917. It's probably
what is that about?
The year 1917. No, it's about World War One. I heard somewhere that it's based on the story of Sam Mendes' grandfather, which is about 2 young soldiers who are given a mission to order a retreat to about, I don't know, a few thousand soldiers. And if they don't get the retreat order, they're going to get slaughtered. So it chronicles those two. And it's shot in such a way that they made the movie look like a one take.
No way.
So, yes.
Dude, I'm looking at the cover right now. That looks incredible.
Right? It's great. The trailer's phenomenal. But apparently they shot it in such a way that it feels like a one take. They have a legendary crew. All right, so that's 1917. The other movie I'm looking forward to in January is called The Gentleman, which is the next Guy Ritchie film. And if you look at it, it's January 24th. You have the cast is crazy, man. You got McConaughey, you got Colin Farrell,
Hugh Grant, Charlie Hunnam,
Henry Golding. Yep. No, it's a huge Hugh Grant. I don't know if you just said that, but yeah. He makes just off the wall, fast paced, really great films. So I'm looking forward to that. Got in February. February's kind of slow. Anything in February I like here? The Invisible
Man. They're trying to expand the. What was that movie with Harley Quinn?
Oh yeah,
the Birds of Prey. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate the title.
I read that and I'm like, what the heck is Birds of Prey? And then at the end I'm like, Harley. I guess it's a Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah, Birds of Prey: The Emancipation of Harley Quinn. You know how it goes. They're gonna just expand the comic universe until the world just stops completely.
Yeah.
So, but I just never saw Harley Quinn as a character that I cared enough about to watch a whole feature film about. So
Yeah,
see
me
how that
neither.
goes. But I might be in a unique camp. There's probably an audience for it. In February, I'd say the one I'm looking most forward to is The Invisible Man. There's always, every year, there's always one horror movie that gets me to the theaters for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's always out of the blue. It's always like some random day, and you got some friends who are like, let's just go to the movies, and you end up watching some horror film. The Invisible Man might be that film.
What is it?
So,
interesting.
It's about a girl.
While we're in February, go ahead. Tell me about it.
It's about a girl who, I'll read you the synopsis.
Wait a minute.
Peggy, bro.
That's Peggy.
Yeah, it's Peggy. Peggy from Mad Men. Elizabeth Moss, as she's known in real life. But for Mad Men fans, she's eternally
Peggy Olsen. Yes.
So
it's hard to see her differently. Sorry, not to cut you off again.
No, don't do it again. But all right. So look, in this movie, Peggy's recently left the ad agency. She's married some guy. Right? Hold on, bro. Google's scaring the hell out of me. Google just started singing out of nowhere. Hey, Google, stop.
You really have to love technology. Sometimes my Siri will.
Bro, Google just started singing Fever to me right now.
Fever from who?
I don't. Give me fever. That bluesy song.
Oh, okay.
It just scared the hell out of me.
Oh, man.
We'll leave that in the podcast. So all right. Peggy is married to some weird, terrifying person who suddenly kills himself. But the twist is he gives her like everything. He gives her like an insane fortune. But she has to essentially say that he never abused her like that. So it turns out that he's actually not dead. He's turned invisible somehow. And so that's the story.
Interesting.
Yeah. Trapped in a violent, controlling relationship with a wealthy and brilliant scientist, Peggy escapes in the dead of night and disappears into hiding, aided by her sister, their childhood friend. Blah, blah. Her ex commits suicide and leaves her a generous portion of his vast fortune. She suspects his death was a hoax. Boom. I'm there.
All right. I might have to watch that one. It sounds good. And she's in it, so I'm curious to see her in a different role, even though it's hard to picture her as something other than Peggy.
How to support all Mad Men cast members.
Yes. Speaking of movies coming out in February, Harrison Ford is in a movie called The Call of the Wild. And I just saw a trailer for that movie like 2 days ago. And it's sad to say, the CGI in that movie for the dog is the worst looking CGI I have seen in a movie for a dog in a really long time. Like, I think Air Bud or the string of Air Bud movies, whatever one that has the dog talking in it, is better. Or Homeward Bound is better. Like, I don't know, man.
You know what, though?
It was very unfortunate.
I'm liking the dog. I'm liking it. It looks like a good dog.
I mean, yeah, the dog looks like a good dog, but it looks like they just photoshopped Harrison Ford into Red Dead Redemption with one of the dogs sitting there stoned staring at the wall. To be completely honest, that's exactly what it looks like to be.
Tell us how you really feel. No, the dog does not look real.
No.
Now, here's the thing. Back in the 90s, you'd have a movie like this, and it would be a real dog.
Yeah.
Why not just get a real dog? Does the dog talk in this book?
I think it does. I think the dog does. And when it just looks that fake, it just takes me out of the movie, man.
Are you sure the dog talks?
Director for the movies of Leo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragons. That's the person directing this movie. I feel like that's
All
part of the problem.
Two good movies, though. Two good movies.
I agree, but totally different than what we're talking about now. How to Train Your Dragon, great. Lilo and Stitch, great. But not when you're trying to go for a 1903 era movie with Harrison Ford in it that you just expect to be raw. I don't know. Anyways, enough about that movie.
I take it you're not going to be in theaters for this one.
Heck no. Only if somebody bought me a ticket. But then I'd still have to think about it.
Moving on to March. March is a pretty decent month. Disney, it seems like Disney has a release date. They have like one movie per month. But this one they have two. They have Pixar's Onward, which is going to be great, I think. So it's the next animated film.
Yeah.
By Pixar. And then we have Mulan, the live action. And I think this will be the first live action remake that I'll go watch. I didn't watch Lion King. I didn't watch Aladdin.
I didn't watch this either.
But this one I think I will, because I just might. Oh my God. And I just skipped over one of the greatest films this year. A Quiet Place Part 2.
That's what I was just looking at.
20th.
I was surprised you skipped past it.
I didn't notice it. I was on the Disney track. Did you see the trailer for A Quiet Place Part 2?
I haven't seen the trailer for it yet. No, I'm pulling up some of these in extra tabs, so after this I can watch them all.
Let me just tell you, it looks great. I mean, you want to talk about how to do a sequel? It's going to be great. It just looks phenomenal. Okay, now getting down to April, which actually, hold on, let me look at this movie first. Oh, we can skip that. I was looking at Fatherhood, but it didn't come.
Oh, I think one of the ones I'm most looking forward to comes out in April.
10th. April 10th, baby.
Let me see if you can guess it.
Oh, come on, it's easy.
Oh wait, you already guessed the date. Yeah, heck yeah. Look, No Time to Die.
The next James Bond film and the last of Daniel Craig's James Bond films.
Look, is he done after that?
Done after this. He's done Casino Royale. He's done
Quantum of Solace.
Another Skyfall.
Yeah, Skyfall. There was one after that, right? Yep.
And this will be the last one. No Time to Die. And did you see the trailer?
I'd have to say he's one of my. I have not seen. No. I didn't see the trailer. I saw the behind the scenes to the trailer. Don't ask me why. It just came up, but it looks great. He's one of my favorite 007s, aside from Sean Connery.
We have the same. We've talked about this before. Yeah, we have the same favorite Bond.
We have.
But I gotta say, he might be. No, Sean Connery is still my favorite Bond.
Yeah, Sean Connery is just OG. Yeah.
Sean Connery embodies what Bond is, and then Craig has that different aspect to it. But there's no doubt Craig is top two. Everybody else is behind.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, I'd have to watch them all, because James Bond might be like one of my favorite series of films ever. And
it's definitely one of mine.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned this on another podcast. Spike TV used to do the 21 Days of Bond. Mm-hmm. And every December, they would just do like this James Bond marathon. It was the greatest thing ever. And I think Spike TV's dead now. So
a little bit.
But man, I'm excited. And you know who I think's going to take over the series after as a director? I think Christopher Nolan is going to take over. I think they're going to offer him like a trilogy of James Bond films. And I have two reasons for it. One of which is Christopher Nolan is on the record of saying he wants to direct Bond. And two, based on the type of film that Christopher Nolan is doing this year, I think it was almost like a prep for Bond. So, and we'll get to it because that one is my most anticipated film of the year, and it comes out in July.
Okay. Well, I am excited if he's going to be directing James Bond. I'm really looking forward to that. I like Christopher Nolan.
So as long as they don't botch whoever they cast as James Bond, we're good.
Yeah, that could destroy the whole series of movies. Anyways,
Moving to May. May's a slow month, except for a book, another Disney film, of course. And it's of a book that I read when I was so little, and it's called Artemis Fowl. I don't know if you remember Artemis Fowl.
I do remember that book.
So Artemis Fowl is about descended from a long line of criminal masterminds. 12-year-old genius Artemis Fowl finds himself in a battle of strength and cunning against a powerful, hidden race of fairies who may be behind his father's disappearance. So, man, I don't remember much from that book. I don't even remember if I finished reading it, but I have to go just to think of giving a shout out to my childhood.
I like that it's a Disney movie that looks kind of dark. There's been Disney movies, a lot of Disney movies are dark if you look at the context of everything, but this one actually feels kind of like a dark, slightly more mature movie for not so young kids.
I feel like it's for that preteen, teen age demographic.
Yeah.
That's how I'm thinking at least.
Okay.
I don't actually know if I'll watch it in theaters, but I'll certainly watch it at some point, whether it's at home or not. June got Wonder Woman, which
Yeah.
I did not watch the first one, and then for some people who are a big fan, Top Gun comes out,
Oh
and
yeah.
I guess I'll go watch that.
If I was gonna watch anything in June, it would be Top Gun.
Yeah, I would have to agree if I had to say anything, unless King of Staten Island, like some badass film I don't know about.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Untitled.
Doesn't
There's
have
not
any.
even much information about it yet.
So yeah, I guess Top Gun wins June. July. What wins July is on July 17th.
Yes.
Tenet.
No.
Oh no, Bob's Burgers. My bad. No, Tenet, the new Nolan film comes out, and it's international espionage thriller. I'm
That
hyped
looks
for
good.
that. Literally, I could end movie talk right here. Literally with that. And the rest of the year, you got a few good ones that come out, but everything else is kind of after that.
Yeah, I agree with your
Ex-
assessment of the remainder of the movies.
Except for two of them. In December, when does Dune come out? All right, Dune, December 18th. Villeneuve, Denis Villeneuve, he's in my top 5 directors right now. He did The Arrival. He did The Prisoners with Hugh Jackman. He's taking the Dune series and that should be awesome.
Okay.
And I just saw this for the first time, but King Richard, if it's based on Shakespeare's King Richard, no, it's not. So I don't care about it. Yep. Or Richard the Third. I'm thinking Richard the Third. Whatever. Anyways.
Apparently, this is about Serena Williams. Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Well, it's about their father. Yeah.
All right.
It's gonna be a great year for movies. Great.
Yeah, I got about 8 up right now that I think I'm gonna have to see. I'm gonna watch the trailers shortly.
Oh man.
All right.
What about you? 2020. What are you looking forward to?
For the movies in 2020?
Whatever.
Or just in general? Okay. Well, one of the things that I'm looking forward to that might be a possibility that it comes out in 2020, at least I've been hearing about it recently, is actually GTA 6. I don't know. Yeah.
Is it really?
I don't know. I saw some. I saw something
Give
about it.
some preface to the audience.
Well, it's a video game called Grand Theft Auto that oh man, when was the last one released? 2013 was when the last one was released. Grand Theft Auto 5. It's it's kind of like an open world sandbox game where you, well, I mean, it's kind of a bad game in the sense of what you do in the game. You go drive around, steal cars, kill people. Yeah, probably transport drugs, shoot up gang members. It's a fun game, but you should at least be 18 years old to play. No, there's a release report, GTA 6 release report. PlayStation and Xbox fans discuss latest Rockstar game finds. So they haven't announced GTA 6 yet, but I don't know. There's get away. I don't want you to value my privacy with your cookies.
There's a community of people who scour all year. They scour anything Rockstar releases, and they look for hints, and they scour, I guess, the code or anything that they post for Easter eggs that could give up some secrets. And so, Rockstar's got to be the best, I'd say, at hiding secrets because, I mean, we're going on 5 years and we have no idea what the heck is going to be the next game, except that they just released Red Dead in 2018. But but there's 2 offices, obviously, or multiple offices, not just 2. So if that came out this year, that would be the surprise of the year.
Tell me about it. I don't know if it's going to come out this year, but at the end of last year, beginning of this year, it's January 6th. I've been hearing a little bit of information about it, some leaks, and then another reason why it might come out this year is because I believe this is also the year that we're going to have all of the Xbox, what is it, the Xbox One releases, or One X, I don't know what they'll call it.
Yeah, we're on the PS5. We're on the same page. You're saying essentially because the new console's coming out, GTA has a history of releasing on the year that the new console releases, so that they can do that multi-console release.
And on top of that, though, I've been hearing some, because of the I don't know, I think PlayStation 5 or just the PlayStation Network
should be coming out in December, barring
they released they didn't release, they got a patent for some different kind of controller design. And one of the things that I've been hearing about GTA 6 specifically has to do with this controller. And I don't know the specifics at all. I haven't had time to do my research on this, but supposedly, if this game releases, it's probably going to be a cross-platform game where you can play with people on, Xbox. Xbox can play with PlayStation, which is a common theme that I've been seeing in a lot of online multiplayer games, especially with Call of Duty now, even the new Modern Warfare, which I did buy and played the story mode, and that was awesome. So maybe we'll circle around to that.
Okay. Tell me about that. I did not do that.
Okay. So there. Well, all right. So anyway, let me finish my thought, and then I'll go to Call of Duty. So there's been rumors that the Xbox players are going to be left at some great disadvantage because of the controller if PlayStation decides to go with this new controller design that they have patented. Don't know what it is, but maybe we'll look into that and figure something else out for another podcast.
Well, you know me, I'm super excited about. I'm super excited. Like, granted, it's a little annoying because I like video games, but I haven't had any time. It's like, kids, listen up and listen good. When you're a kid, you better take advantage of the time, because when you get to our age, and you're hustling and you're grinding, you're doing your thing. When it's your time to relax, you have to choose one thing. And so, in this age of new media and new streaming and all this stuff, and trying to improve yourself, like, by doing podcasts or by reading a book or whatever it is, studying, learning. You have to choose one thing. And so when you got GTA 6 coming out and you got a new season of Ozarks, you got a new season of Peaky Blinders, you got a new season of blah, 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 whatever, it's just not enough time in the world, bro. So, yeah, that's my event about, about that.
I could agree with that. I find it more and more difficult to find myself sitting down and playing a game.
You got to choose like one
nowadays.
or two games in a year. And
yeah,
like,
and
right,
that's it. And the problem is, I like when I play games like if it's story based or there's some sort of storyline to it, I want to actually complete that storyline, because I mean that's where a lot of the art is. All of the writing is done in the story. I mean, yeah, multiplayer is great. Go do this, go shoot people, go ride around, whatever you're doing, whatever the game is.
Yeah, but it's like,
fun, but I mean, there's
the online
not
games.
as much
The problem
there.
with it is like you got to pour all this time in, and then
Exactly.
they're always rewarding the people who put the most time in, which is fine. That's natural. But at a certain point, there's always like that give and take where you're like, I'm not gonna pour in 40 hours on this thing. Like it's just not gonna. It's not happening. So that's why story games to me tend to be what I end up playing. I do like online games and experiences with friends and stuff like that.
I do like online games too, but I'm finding myself recently leaning more on the side of faster paced online or multiplayer games, just because it's like, all right, if I'm gonna relax for a few minutes before I go to bed or what in between things, if I gotta jump to another job or something like that, and I want to play a game, but I want to play online, I need something that I can just like jump into, enjoy for like a solid 10-15 minutes, and then be done. But if I'm in, what was that one game that we were playing with all of the zombies? I found myself sitting on that thing for like 6 hours once.
Daisy.
Yeah, Daisy. That thing was crazy. I like the game. It's awesome, but you really got to have some time invested, especially if you want to travel anywhere on that map, man.
That game
It's
particularly is brutal when it comes to time. Like,
oh my gosh,
nighttime. You could spend 2 hours in that game and literally have done nothing. I mean, essentially nothing.
I was playing with you, and I don't remember who else it was, but you guys were able to find each other in the map. I was trying to find you. I'm running. Nighttime's coming in the game, but it was also late at night in general.
The nighttime cycle in that game is so long.
It's brutal.
You literally have to just stop moving and just stay still. That's essentially
you do, or try and figure out how to craft a torch with some wood that you chopped up from a tree or a bush, and hope it doesn't go out. But yeah, no, I stopped that game. Literally did exactly that. Laid down on the ground, or tried to get as isolated as possible, and then left the game while you two were still playing. Jumped on a meeting for I want to say it was about an hour long meeting that I had to take. It started at like 12:30 and ended at 1:30. Came back on. It's still nighttime in the game. And you guys are just still at some little, I don't even know where you were.
No, nighttime in that game, you can essentially, I will say this is convenient because nighttime in that game is like 30 minutes or 20 minutes. And you can literally just get up, make yourself some dinner, come back, and it's still nighttime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did that once too, actually. I was like, all right, it's night. I guess I'll go make dinner. So I actually went to the store, bought stuff, came back, made the food, started eating it. It was still nighttime. I am kind of close to the store.
That was a 2-weeker. That game was a 2-weeker.
I haven't been on it a long time.
Yeah, that was a impulse buy. But it was a fun couple weeks, so it's worth it.
It was.
On another front, the PS5 comes out this year, so that's a must buy. But I've been on a specific book, and it was perhaps my favorite Christmas present from 2019.
Okay.
And you got to read this thing. It's been out for a while. It's a biography, and it's a biography I've been wanting to read for a while. And I thought I was gonna like it, but I didn't think I was gonna like it this much. In fact, I'm annoyed because the last 2 days I've wanted to read it and I just have not been able to. It is the Steve Jobs Biography by Walter Isaacson. It
Okay.
is phenomenal. Have you ever heard of it?
I have not. No.
Okay. Well, Walter Isaacson is a well known author, and when Steve Jobs was diagnosed with cancer, or when he was doing pretty badly, he called Walter Isaacson. He says, "I want you to write a biography about me." And Walter didn't know that he what his diagnosis was, and so he said, "No, Steve, look, I think you're on the trajectory eventually that I write a biography about you, but you're not there yet. You have so much more to do before I write a biography about you." Because this is a guy who I think had written a biography on Ben Franklin and Albert Einstein. So Steve was like, "Naturally, you got to write one about me." So, which naturally, so he definitely deserved it. Um, Later on, he finds out. I think the wife called Walter, or something happened, because Steve kept it very close wrapped. Um, he found out. He said, "Look, of course I'll write it, dude. This guy does a freaking marvelous job at mixing in quotes from all of the people who knew Steve Jobs, from Woz, all of the early investors in Apple, to the people who, for like pretty much mentored him, the former bosses at Atari that Steve Jobs worked at. It's such
Mm.
a detailed look into his life and what formed him, and it's just incredible. I'm on page 80 something, and I'm just zooming through it. Whenever I pick it up, I'm able to zoom through it, but I'm not picking it up as frequently as I'd like to. But by far, I'm in. Like this guy, Walter Isaacson, I'm buying his all his books after this, just because the style in which he writes is a perfect style for writing a biography. Uh, and honestly, Steve Jobs was. I think people take that easy route where they say he was an engineer, he wasn't this and that. Let me tell you, Woz needed him as badly as he needed Woz. It's
Yeah.
just it's as simple as that. Uh, Wozniak openly admits he's not a businessman. He's not a marketer. He's not a somebody who can sell something. And so Woz would design this beautiful thing, and Steve would put all the pieces together to put it in a place to sell it. In fact, Wozniak offered it to HP before he even went and opened up his own business, because he worked full time at HP, and he gave him the Apple II. He said, or the Apple One. He said, "If you want it, it's yours." And they rejected it, and the rest is history. So it's crazy too, man. The amount of people who had an opportunity uh, for a small task to have a large percentage, to hold a large percentage of Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Just bananas. There's one guy named Roger Wayne. Um, he was brought in almost like as a third party to kind of
Oh, I feel
mediate
like I heard about this
between.
guy.
Oh, he was a coworker of Steve Jobs, and he was good at a few different things that Steve really respected. They got along. Steve brought him in to pretty much mediate between him and Woz on certain things. So he was in charge of documentation and something else. They gave him 10% of the company. However, at that point, Steve and Woz had nothing, and Roger Wayne had already had a failed business attempt before. So
Mm-hmm.
he got cold feet because he figured, if we lose money, the bank's not going to go after these two guys. They're going to go after me because I'm the only one here who has assets.
Yep.
And so he rescinded. I think maybe a couple weeks later, he went to the bank and took away, pretty much undid the partnership. So that 10% today, or when the book was released, would have been worth $40+ billion. Uh,
That's sickening, man. I heard, I actually just recently heard that story. Someone else mentioned it. And I was just like, you just feel your stomach turn. You're like, oh,
you wanna hear a worse one?
go ahead.
The former CEO of Atari was one of Steve's first bosses. Steve went in there like a hippie, and
Mm-hmm.
Steve Jobs, because Woz has the same. Just know I'm going to call Woz.
Okay.
And he goes in there and he goes into Atari. He says, "I'm not leaving here until I get a job." They give him a job. He smells like crap because he's a hippie, and he only eats fruits. He doesn't probably use any deodorant, and so they make him work at night because for the sake of all the workers there, because he smelled so bad and they couldn't stand his personality, that he worked at night. And anyways, fast forward, he had a relationship with this guy, something Bushnell. I can't remember his first name, but he was a charismatic leader, good guy. And Steve asked him to invest $50,000 in Apple. He needed $250,000, but he needed like a line of $50,000 from Bushnell. And he said, if you give me $50,000, I'll give you 35% of the company. And, and the guy has a quote in there. He's like, before he reveals that he said no, he goes, I was really smart, so I said no. And I try to tell myself that every time I'm in between, I'm crying. I mean, if 10% is 40 billion, I mean, the guy would have been over 120 billion dollars.
Oh my gosh!
Just, oh my god, it's bananas, man. But everything happened that had to happen.
That's crazy. I do want to buy that book, and read that now. Speaking of Apple and how much they're worth, did you see? I think right at the new year that they just hit market cap of $1.35 billion.
Yeah, I think each share now is $300, right?
Yeah, it's probably over 300 now.
Well,
that's insane.
What we're seeing now is every single big company is now diving into other areas. So, I mean, Amazon is on their way to trying to be everything. And Apple's doing essentially the same thing, but more in the arts and technology. I just feel that Apple. Like, what's your take on Tim Cook?
He's okay.
What have been his biggest achievements at Apple? Like, I'm actually going to look this up.
I don't know. I haven't researched him that much. I haven't seen anything crazy in it. Here's the thing. I have not seen anything innovative, or very innovative, I should say, come from Apple under Tim Cook that was not already kickstarted by Steve Jobs. Like, I believe even the Apple Watch, which was one of my favorite pieces of technology that came out from Apple as of recent, I believe was, something that Steve Jobs had commissioned. And I think we referenced this on a previous podcast. May or may not have, I don't remember, but.
No, yeah, you did. You talked about how the Apple Watch was part of Steve Jobs. He had a blueprint for it, and then also the thing that you were looking forward to, which was the eventual Apple Watch being able to monitor glucose levels.
Yeah.
Blood sugar.
So that's really about it. I mean, the other big things that I remember, aside from just the standard, this year it's the iPhone and it's better, and now it's the iPhone again and it's better. You had AirPods, which, if you ask me, was long overdue. Wireless headphones, wireless earbuds have been out for a while. Now they like they do when they do something, they always kill it. They do it well. Well, I won't say always. The majority of the time they kill it. They do it well. But it was long overdue. And then you had, what else is it? The Apple Pencil, again, long overdue. Styluses have been around for so long. It's great when you compare it to anything else. The functionality of it's phenomenal. The first version of it sucked terribly. Second version is nice, but then you have to upgrade your iPad Pro again. So there was those two things. You had the AirPods. Now we just have the AirPods Pro with the I think the active noise canceling, which is again, it's nice. It's not as great as it could be, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. And then there was the updates to the actual Apple stores. I know of that they kind of brought in somebody to redesign the experience of going into an Apple store and going through things like that. So they're doing more educational classes at the Apple stores so people understand how to use the technology that you're paying for. But
I've actually seen those in person and they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I do like them. I think they were done well. The person that they brought in to actually, revamp that. I think it was a woman. I can't remember her name, but I think she did an incredible job going through, and updating that process, because that it's a crazy process. Even the just online store purchasing process for Apple. I was listening to a podcast a while back. I don't remember the name of it, unfortunately, but. They were actually, it may have been the Design Better podcast. I'm not sure. Anyways, they were talking about the process of, making updates to the Apple Store online. And it would literally take a year. It could literally take a year to push out a fairly simple change, because they would make a change and they would test it and test it and test it and figure out, is there a better way to do this? Try that and test it and test it and test it. Because when they're releasing something, it's not going out to like 100,000 people or 400,000 people. When they release something in a new update to their process on their store, it's hitting tens of millions of people. Like tens of millions of people are buying those products. They're going through that process. So it needs to be so battle tested. It's crazy. But no, I mean, that was, I don't know. It's just something that popped in my head after thinking about the updates to the actual physical locations.
I saw the Golden Globes monologue yesterday, and as you know, Apple's jumped into the TV world, and Ricky Gervais hit him over the head so hard. He said that Apple jumped into the TV landscape this year with a show called The Newsroom. Not The Newsroom, The Morning Show or something like that.
Yeah, The Morning Show.
And he says, a show about doing what's right. Always doing what's right. Made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. And I was like, oh. And then he called out everybody else. He said, everybody groaned. And he says, oh, yeah, you guys are so woke. And he says, but look at the companies you work for. You work for Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS opened up a streaming software, you'd call your agent. I was like, oh my goodness. You just murdered everybody in the room. Oh,
that was the one part that I saw on Instagram today. For the 5 seconds I opened it up today, and I don't know, that one had me laughing.
So, as you know, there's been like Twitter's going insane. I mean, at least I don't know how much to put stock into what I see on Twitter, because people just freak out about everything, and they're freaking out about this guy that Trump took out Soleimani in Iraq, and they're just flipping out. And World War III is trending. You got giant bomb trending. Hopefully, we don't get flagged in the store for just saying these words.
I would hope not.
But you never know. But anyways,
leave the podcast a good review, please.
Please, always. And people are just freaking out. They think that, I mean, they're turning this guy into Franz Ferdinand. It's absurd. And then you have, I was reading today some people from Iran and Iraq. Look, we did not like this guy. I don't think that, because of the European and American media, that we like this guy. I mean, these are countries that do not have the same level of freedom, and they're just messing around. I mean, they're literally not messing around, but what I mean to say is they're playing with fire, because you have at the funeral the daughters of him saying these are going to be dark days for America. They even put a bounty on Trump's head. I don't know if you heard about that, but
dude, speaking of that, did you hear? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you hear George? I heard from some political figure who mentioned it on Twitter. George Lopez said that he would assassinate the president for $50 million.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. I think you even follow the person that mentioned that on Twitter. I can't remember his name.
Let me see. Okay, Ryan Fournier. Comedian under fire. But can you go to jail for
that? Is that not like a death threat, man?
No, I don't. I'd have to see. George Lopez. Okay. Iranian authorities have put a bounty on American President Donald Trump's head during the televised funeral. George Lopez put, "We'll do it for half." Uh, I mean, he's a comedian, but look,
He is a comedian, but
it's
I mean
no, it's
that's
no,
a little much.
it's no surprise. I mean, this is the most polarizing president that I can ever remember. So I mean, people hate him. People hate him, and then people love him. It's kind of no in
Yeah.
between. Actually,
There's a massive divide.
there's
I don't
an
even know if there's an
there's an
in between.
No, there's definitely an in between because uh, there's always going to be, there's a very rational group who agrees with what he does policy wise, but they don't agree with the manner in which he speaks. But um, as far as this being a good decision or a bad decision, this is a guy who uh, is responsible for killing a lot of innocents. I read somewhere earlier today that he was killing innocent protesters. I'd have to verify that, but
I heard the same thing as well.
They're making him out to be a saint. So it's kind of like, look, World War III is not happening from this, but obviously that's a meme. But you get what I'm saying. It's just kind of like he takes out somebody who's bad, and then you have to kind of check it and make sure that it's something that's not out of line. But at the same time, it's such a sad environment that we live in that everything's so politicized that even something like this is politicized. Like literally just give the straight facts. Who was this person? Don't turn it into something that it's not. I mean, we're already divided as can be. Why can't we just report straight news?
That would be convenient.
And everybody make up their mind for themselves.
I mean, I heard that. So they had attacked us and killed some. Aside from the millions of people that this guy's already, murdered under his command, he had attacked us or was attacking one of our embassies. I guess in Iraq.
The embassy was second. There was an American contractor or a couple killed.
Contract, yeah.
And then we struck back, and then they attacked the embassy, which was led by him. I don't know to what degree everything else was led by him, but he's the head general. So, nothing's going to move without him.
Exactly.
Was the head general. But then they attacked the embassy. We struck again, and then we took him out. So, they struck, we came back. They struck, we came back. So it's a deterrent.
Trump's gotten criticized for pulling our military out of Iran, and now he's getting criticized for attacking, rightfully so, after we've been attacked and our people have been murdered. Innocent people were murdered there, and then we're under attack yet again. So he's getting flack from both sides, and I don't know. It just feels like a whole double standard there to me. It doesn't make any sense.
Granted, look, I don't want another war over there.
Me neither.
I don't think anybody wants another war over there, but I don't think there's going to be another war, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. But there's no doubt that we live in such a weird time with all these. The fact that information is so accessible so quickly and everybody's able to give their opinion. It's just crazy because there's so many people who are speaking on misinformation that it just muddies everything else up. So, yeah, there's my political rant for this episode.
That's a good one. It's a very controversial topic this week.
It is, but I think there's something that also, as a country and as a world that's constantly evolving with more information, if we can't have conversations with people who disagree with us on things, then we're regressing as a society. I mean,
absolutely.
I've always loved talking to people who have different opinions than I do, and I don't treat them any differently because they have a different opinion. I find those conversations fun and good to learn another perspective. But I see nowadays, and I think we're kind of switching. I think we're coming back. The pendulum swinging back the other way, where nowadays you're going to start seeing now a little bit more tolerance towards other opinions, because I think the majority of people are rational and are able to see a human being as a human being and not what their opinions are. So hoping for the best in 2020, even though it's an election year, so it's going to go to hell. It's going to go to hell around April.
This is going to be ridiculous this year, man.
I forgot it's a damn election year. I take everything back. I take everything back. No, everything's going to go to hell. Facebook is literally going to be a war zone. Forget World War III. It's going to be World War Facebook. It's going to be terrible.
Dude. I don't even want to think about it. All I know is I know Facebook already had mentioned last year that I always forget this woman's name. She's running for president. She's a Democrat running for president.
Elizabeth Warren?
Yes. If she gets elected, Facebook's going to, like, I don't know, sue the government or something to try and get her out of office. It's
who
insane.
Was the it was the guy from Barstool, which I don't care for Barstool, but he said if my employees threaten to unionize, I'll fire them all or something like that.
Oh man.
Anyways, no, it's gonna be absolutely a crap show, and yeah. But I already know who's gonna win, so it's okay.
Oh no, it's I don't know how.
Don't say it, Zach. Don't say it.
I'm not saying.
Don't say it. Don't say it because we need to hold this information to ourselves, and we need to be paid by top-notch news sources to confirm these victories. But we know who's gonna win. It's already been confirmed.
I agree. We're very good at predicting things, especially like this.
If people want to reach us, you can. All of our information is on the Midnight Exchange in the description. You'll see. And oh my God, I said I was going to write show notes this entire episode and I haven't done them. So Zach, your job this time, bud.
Oh, damn it. All right. I got a couple links. I still have some tabs open, so I'll have to do that.
You want to close us out?
I'll close it out. Yes. So if you want to find us outside of this podcast or even more on the podcast, you can visit our website at themidnightexchange.com. You can find us on Twitter at THEME podcast. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Midnight Exchange. And if you want to send us an email, you can send us an email at podcast@themidnightexchange.com. So I think that about covers everything. So
I think so. I'm looking forward to you guys next couple weeks.
Oh, me too, man. Me too. I'm excited to get this stuff up and get the next one going.
Oh, we're launching next week. But it doesn't matter to this person because they're going to see all the episodes there. But
it's true.
It doesn't matter. So until next time, close us out, Zach.
Peace.
The outro.
Deuces. We don't have an outro.
We don't have I thought you came up with a tagline.
I did?
I guess not. See you next time, guys.
Bye.
Gals.